Have you ever felt like you're at a crossroads in life, like all the doors are closed and you're standing in the hallway, wondering where the light is? Well, I have good news for you today. God is making a way for you, and a miracle is about to happen in your life. What seems impossible right now is about to become possible. Trust me when I say this, God's hand is moving in your situation, even when you can't see it. You might have noticed that life doesn't always unfold the way we expect it to. You set a goal, plan your steps, and even work hard toward it, but things don't seem to fall into place the way you imagined. Have you ever wondered why that is? The reason is simple: divine timing. We live in a world where everything seems to be on a strict timeline. At least we think it is. From school to work, from personal milestones to societal expectations. It often feels like there's a schedule we have to follow. But what if I told you that everything happening in your life right now, even the parts that don't make sense, is all part of a bigger plan? A plan that's been written with precision by a higher power who knows exactly what you need and when you need it. Take a moment and think about it. Maybe you've had moments in your life where you felt like you were running out of time. Perhaps you had a deadline, or you were waiting for something to fall into place. Maybe even something you've prayed for. Yet time keeps slipping away and you're left with nothing but frustration. It's natural to feel discouraged, to wonder if your efforts are in vain. But let me tell you something: divine timing doesn't follow your clock. It doesn't respond to your rush. It responds to your faith. It responds to your belief that even in the moments of waiting, something powerful is being prepared for you. Consider the story of a woman who worked tirelessly to build her career, only to face setback after setback. She couldn't understand why everything seemed so difficult, why the doors weren't opening for her. She watched others advance while she stayed stuck. She was ready to give up. But then, just when she least expected it, the right opportunity came. It was a job offer that perfectly matched her skills, one she had never even imagined before. Not only was the timing impeccable, but it was better than anything she had planned. Had she given up and taken matters into her own hands, she might have missed that perfect moment when the opportunity came knocking. This is the essence of divine timing. It often requires us to relinquish control and trust that everything will unfold as it should. It means trusting that, even though it may not make sense to us in the moment, something greater is happening behind the scenes. We may feel like we're in a waiting room, anxious and impatient, but God's work doesn't have to be rushed. His plans are grander than anything we could imagine, and His timing is flawless. Think about the times when you were desperate for a change, when you couldn't understand why something wasn't happening the way you envisioned. Maybe you were working on a project or striving toward a personal goal. Perhaps you were building relationships, waiting for the right one to come along, and all you faced were false starts or disappointments. You might have questioned your own abilities, wondering why things weren't working out. But what if that delay, that waiting period, wasn't a sign that you were failing? What if it was the preparation needed for something far beyond what you could have imagined? Let's take a look at another example, a man who spent years building his small business from the ground up. He worked countless hours, poured all his resources into it, but no matter how hard he tried, it just wasn't growing. Time and again, he hit walls. He nearly gave up. But in the midst of his struggle, something unexpected happened. An investor, someone he'd never expected to cross paths with, reached out. That connection, which came after years of seemingly fruitless effort, led to the breakthrough he had been waiting for. The business expanded not because of his constant striving, but because the right person appeared at the right time. What did that teach him? It wasn't just about working harder, it was about working in faith, in trust that the right opportunities would come when the time was right. He didn't have to force things to happen. Sometimes, the best thing you can do is to stop pushing and allow the pieces to come together naturally. Divine timing is not about being passive, but about being patient, knowing that the journey you're on is preparing you for something greater. You might be thinking, but I've been waiting for so long. I understand that frustration. Sometimes it feels like you're putting in the work, making the sacrifices, and giving your best, yet nothing is changing. But remember, divine timing is like planting a seed. When you plant a seed, you don't expect it to sprout the next day. It takes time for the roots to grow deep, for the soil to nourish it, and for it to rise up into something beautiful. Just because you can't see the progress doesn't mean it's not happening. The most powerful changes often occur beneath the surface, where we can't see them yet. If you've been praying for something or working tirelessly toward a goal, and it feels like the answer is taking too long, hold on a little longer. Trust that the right opportunities are coming, even when you don't see them. Trust that your hard work isn't in vain, and that what you're preparing for will be worth the wait. I know it's hard to see it when you're in the middle of it. I know it's easy to become discouraged when the results aren't immediate. But here's the truth: your miracle is being carefully prepared for you. God's timing is never late, it's perfect. You may be waiting, but you're not wasting time. You're being positioned. You're being molded. You're being prepared for something greater than you could ever plan for yourself. And when that moment arrives, when the doors open, you'll understand that it was worth every second of waiting, because it will be exactly what you needed at the exact right time. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where everything seemed to be going wrong, where every step you took felt like it led to more obstacles, and no matter how hard you tried, things just weren't working out the way you hoped? It's a feeling many of us have experienced at some point in our lives, where life seems to throw us challenge after challenge. You work hard, you push through, and yet the struggles continue to mount. But here's something important you need to know: your struggles are not random. They are not here to break you. They are here to make you. And the greater the struggle, the greater the purpose. There is a reason for every challenge that crosses your path. You might not see it in the moment, but each struggle is shaping you into the person you're meant to become. Think about the things you've endured, the obstacles you've overcome. Maybe you've been through financial hardship or faced the pain of losing a loved one. Perhaps you've dealt with failures, setbacks, or heartbreaks that made you question everything. But if you take a moment to reflect, I'm sure you'll realize that these very struggles, difficult as they were, help to build your character, sharpen your resilience, and deepen your faith. Let's take an example from everyday life. Imagine a young entrepreneur who starts a small business. They pour everything into it, their time, their money, their energy. But despite their hard work, things don't take off as they expected. In fact, the business begins to face one setback after another. The website crashes, customer complaints pile up, and the financial numbers don't add up. It's easy to see this as a failure, to think that all their effort was for nothing. But if you look closer, you'll see that this struggle is teaching them invaluable lessons that will serve them later on. They are learning about resilience, patience, and the importance of listening to their customers. They are learning to problem solve and adapt. Through this struggle, they are developing the mindset and skills that will ultimately make their business stronger than it ever could have been if success came easily. This struggle is not holding them back. It's preparing them for something much bigger. The truth is, struggles often have a purpose that is beyond our immediate understanding. Think about the process of building muscle in your body. When you lift weights, your muscles don't just grow in a straight line. They break down first, and it's in the recovery period that they rebuild stronger. If you didn't push your muscles to the limit, they would never grow. The same goes for the struggles we face in life. Without the challenges, we wouldn't grow. We wouldn't develop the strength, the resilience, the character we need to handle the bigger tasks ahead. Every struggle is a test. It's not there to make you weaker. It's there to make you stronger. Imagine a person who has been through a series of failed relationships. Each one leaves them heartbroken, questioning their worth and wondering what they did wrong. For a long time, they feel like they are unworthy of love, and that something is fundamentally wrong with them. But with each heartbreak, they learn more about what they truly want, about how to set healthy boundaries, about the importance of self-love. The struggle isn't just about the pain. It's about the growth that comes with it. They might not see it at the time, but they are being prepared for the relationship that will align with their values, one where they can finally experience the love they've always deserved. Their past struggles will eventually become the foundation of their future happiness. Now, think about a time in your own life when you struggled, whether it was with your career, your family, your personal goals. During that time, it may have felt like the world was against you. Maybe it seemed like everything was falling apart. But the truth is, those struggles weren't there to destroy you. They were there to transform you. If you had never experienced that hardship, would you be the person you are today? Would you have developed the strength to face challenges that you face now? The reality is that our struggles often lead us to the very thing we need most. They might push us toward a deeper understanding of ourselves, a new direction in life, or even a calling we never expected. Without the struggle, we might never have discovered our true passion or purpose. The most successful people in the world didn't reach their peak by avoiding struggles. They faced them head-on. And through those struggles, they found their purpose. Take the example of someone who has spent years working in a job they hate, always dreaming of starting their own business. The fear of failure, the security of a steady paycheck, and the uncertainty of entrepreneurship hold them back. But one day, they're forced to make a decision. Maybe they lose their job unexpectedly, or maybe they just hit a breaking point where they can no longer ignore the call to follow their dreams. The struggle of working in a job they hated becomes the fuel that ignites the fire for change. It was in the pain of that struggle that they discovered what they were truly passionate about, what they were truly capable of. And because of that, they go on to build a business that changes their life. This is the power of struggle. It doesn't destroy us, it forces us to dig deeper, to tap into strengths we didn't know we had. It forces us to push past our limits and to find creative solutions when everything else seems to be falling apart. It forces us to grow, to evolve, and to step into our purpose. You see, struggles are never pointless. They may be uncomfortable, they may be painful, and they may seem endless at times, but they are preparing us, they are shaping us. They are making us stronger, wiser, and more capable of fulfilling our purpose. Every challenge you face is part of your story. It's part of what makes you you. And without those struggles, you wouldn't be prepared for the greatness that lies ahead. You're not defined by your struggles. You are refined by them. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you thought you had everything figured out? You made plans, set goals, and worked hard to achieve them, only to find that life had a different plan for you. It's in these moments when things don't go according to your expectations that you can start to wonder if you're on the right path. We all have moments where we question why things aren't happening the way we want them to. And sometimes the feeling of uncertainty can be overwhelming. But here's the truth you need to understand: God works in unimaginable ways. The plans you've made for yourself, the road you've carved out in your mind, may not always align with the greater plan He has for you, and that's because His ways are beyond anything you could have ever imagined. Think about it. When things are going smoothly, it's easy to think we're in control. We know exactly what we want, and we make it happen. But when the unexpected happens, when the outcome doesn't match what we envisioned, that's when we truly see how limited our understanding really is. It's like a person planning a road trip across the country, meticulously mapping out each stop, preparing for every possibility, only to find that there's a detour and their road is entirely changed. At first, they may feel frustrated or lost, but what they don't know is that this detour is going to lead them to a place even more beautiful than they could have planned. Sometimes we get so attached to our own plans that we can't see the bigger picture. I remember hearing about a young man who had spent years working toward his dream job. He had done everything right: networking, earning the right degree, getting all the certifications he needed. He had carefully crafted his resume, and when the perfect position opened up at a prestigious company, he thought it was his moment. He applied with confidence, certain that this was the opportunity he had been waiting for. But the days passed and no response came. He followed up, sent emails, made calls, but nothing. Weeks turned into months, and with each passing day, his frustration grew. He couldn't understand why he wasn't being chosen. He was qualified, prepared, and had worked so hard to reach this point. It didn't make sense. But then, one day, he received a call, not for the job he had been dreaming of, but for a completely different opportunity. It was a smaller company, one he hadn't even considered. At first, he almost dismissed it, thinking it wasn't what he wanted. But after much deliberation, he decided to take the leap. Little did he know, this small job was going to lead him to connections and opportunities that he never could have imagined. The company grew rapidly, and within a few years, he found himself in a leadership position. What started as a detour, something he never saw coming, ended up being the very stepping stone that elevated his career in ways he never could have planned for himself. His dream job wasn't what he had expected. It was far beyond it. This story teaches us a powerful lesson. We are often too focused on the path we think we should be on, that we miss the path that's unfolding right in front of us. God doesn't work according to our timelines or our plans. He's doing something bigger, something we can't even begin to understand. What we may see as a setback, a disappointment, or a diversion may actually be the very thing that is preparing us for something far greater. The job he didn't get wasn't a failure. It was part of a bigger plan to position him exactly where he needed to be. When we talk about God working in unimaginable ways, we're talking about a force that sees the bigger picture, a force that understands the depth of our potential, even when we can't see it ourselves. We live in a world that often teaches us to control everything, to plan every detail of our lives. But true fulfillment, true growth, and true success come when we let go of that need for control and trust that God's plan is better than anything we could have designed on our own. The path to your dreams may not always be a straight line. It may not always look the way you expect it to. But rest assured, it is leading you exactly where you need to go. Think about a woman who had been trying for years to conceive. She prayed, she hoped, and she kept trying. But each time she faced disappointment. The doctors told her it might never happen. She felt heartbroken, devastated, and as though her dreams of becoming a mother were slipping away. But then, in what seemed like a miracle, she was matched with a child through adoption. At first, she couldn't believe it. This was not the path she had imagined, not the dream she had held in her heart. But as she held that child in her arms, as she watched them grow, she realized that this was her miracle. It was unimaginable, and it was beyond what she had hoped for. God had worked in a way that she never could have imagined, bringing her the joy of motherhood in a way she hadn't planned. When you're in the middle of something, it can be hard to see how things will work out. You may be facing challenges that seem insurmountable, and the future feels uncertain. But remember, God is doing things you can't even see. He's working behind the scenes, moving things around, orchestrating events, aligning people and opportunities in ways that are beyond your understanding. The impossible will become possible. The dreams that seem out of reach are often closer than you think. In your own life, think about the times when you've been faced with the unexpected. Maybe it was a job loss, a sudden change in your life, or an opportunity that came out of nowhere. At first, you couldn't see how it could possibly work in your favor. But as time went on, you began to see how this unexpected turn of events was actually a blessing in disguise. It was exactly what you needed, even if you didn't know it at the time. You couldn't have planned it, You couldn't have seen it coming, but it turned out to be the best thing for you. God works in ways we can't comprehend, using opportunities, challenges, and even failures to lead us to something greater. When you trust Him, when you let go of your own expectations, that's when the unimaginable begins to happen. So, take heart. You might not understand your current situation and you might not see the way forward. But know this: God is working in unimaginable ways. What He's doing in your life right now is setting you up for something bigger, something more amazing than you could ever have imagined. Sometimes, the biggest breakthroughs in our lives come not from our plans, not from the efforts we put into what we've envisioned for ourselves, but from the moments when life takes us completely by surprise. Expecting the unexpected is not about preparing for disaster or expecting failure. It's about opening your mind and heart to the fact that sometimes the best things in life come from out of nowhere, things we couldn't possibly have predicted, and often things we would have never chosen for ourselves. These unexpected moments can change the entire course of our lives if we allow them to. Think about it. How often have you found yourself on a path working towards a goal, only for an unexpected twist to throw everything off course? At first, it seems like a setback. It feels like a roadblock. It seems like everything you've worked for has been derailed. But here's the truth. That unexpected turn might be the very thing you needed to get closer to your purpose, to your destiny. It might be the moment that changes everything. Take the story of a woman I know who had always dreamed of owning her own business. She worked tirelessly for years, saving every penny, studying her industry, planning her business strategy down to the smallest detail. Everything seemed to be going well, and she was just about to open her first store when suddenly the city experienced a major economic downturn. Businesses were closing left and right. She was devastated. She had worked so hard for this moment, and now it felt like all her dreams were crashing down. But instead of giving up, she took a step back. She didn't let fear or doubt control her next move. Instead of opening a physical store, she pivoted. She launched her business online, reaching people from all over the world, and in the process, her business grew even faster than she could have imagined. What started as an obstacle, an unexpected turn of events, turned out to be the very thing that made her business successful beyond her wildest dreams. In life, we have a tendency to plan everything out. We want to know the steps, the timeline, and how everything will unfold. But the truth is, life doesn't always follow our plans, and that's okay. There's something beautiful about allowing life to unfold in its own way, about being flexible enough to adapt when the unexpected occurs. The problem is not the unexpected itself, it's how we react to it. When we can learn to embrace the unexpected, when we stop resisting the changes that come our way, we open ourselves up to new opportunities, new directions, and new possibilities. I think about another example, a man who was working at a job he loved. He had a great position in the company, was well respected by his peers, and he felt secure in his career. But one day, without warning, the company downsized and his position was eliminated. He was shocked. For weeks, he struggled to find a new job, sending out resumes and attending interviews with no success. It seemed like the more he tried, the further away he got from the security he once had. But one day, after months of struggle, he received a call from a recruiter who was offering him a position he hadn't even applied for. It was a role in a completely different industry, one he hadn't even considered. But something inside him told him to go for it. He took the job. And within a few months, he realized that this new role was exactly what he needed. It challenged him in ways his previous job never had. It opened doors to new networks, new skills, and even a greater sense of fulfillment. What seemed like an unexpected failure, losing his job, turned out to be the very thing that led him to a better life. When you expect the unexpected, you start to realize that the universe, or whatever you believe in, has a way of moving things around, shifting things and placing you exactly where you need to be. The job loss, the broken relationship, the health scare, the financial struggles, these are not the end of your story. They are the beginning of something new, something better, something that will take you places you never imagined you could go. They are not roadblocks. They are detours leading you to your true purpose. You might not see it right away, but these unexpected events are often guiding you to the next chapter of your life. I've seen this happen time and time again. A friend of mine was struggling with a toxic relationship for years. She held on to it, hoping things would improve, trying to make it work, but the more she tried, the more miserable she became. One day, after a particularly difficult argument, she decided to walk away. At the time, it felt like she was losing everything. She didn't know what the future held, and she felt like her whole world had just collapsed. But that unexpected decision, that brave step away from something unhealthy, led her to a life she couldn't have dreamed of. She met someone new, someone who treated her with love and respect, and she went on to achieve personal goals that she thought were out of reach. That unexpected breakup was, in fact, the beginning of a new, beautiful life. In your own life, think about the times when you've been faced with unexpected events. Maybe you've lost a job, faced a health issue, or experienced the end of a relationship. At first, these things may have felt like the end of the road, but what if they were just the beginning of something even better? What if they were simply pushing you in a new direction, leading you to new opportunities, new experiences, and new lessons. The unexpected doesn't have to be something negative. It doesn't have to be something to fear. It can be a sign that something bigger is on the horizon, that the universe is preparing you for something greater than what you've planned for yourself. The key to expecting the unexpected is to trust that whatever comes your way is part of the journey. Trust that even when things don't go according to your plan, there is a higher plan in place. Your purpose is unfolding, and sometimes the unexpected is just the way it happens. The unexpected is not a detour, it's the way forward. Life has a way of working out better than we can imagine, but only if we allow it to. When we embrace the unexpected, when we let go of our need for control, we begin to see that the best things often come when we least expect them. There's something powerful about faith. It's not just about believing in something you can see, something tangible that's sitting right in front of you. True faith is about believing in what you cannot see, trusting in what you cannot yet touch, and having the confidence to walk forward even when the road ahead is shrouded in uncertainty. It's easy to believe in what's right in front of us. It's easy to trust when the signs are clear and the path is laid out. But faith that moves mountains, the kind of faith that truly transforms your life, is faith that believes even when the outcome is not yet visible. Think about it. Every great success, every great breakthrough, every powerful story of resilience and triumph has come from a place where the person had to choose faith over sight. They had to believe when they couldn't see the evidence, when everything around them seemed to be falling apart. That's the kind of faith that pushes you forward when the world tells you to stop, when logic says no, when doubt whispers in your ear. That's the faith that has the power to change lives. I remember hearing a story about a man who had been working tirelessly on a project, pouring everything he had into it. For years, he dedicated countless hours to building something he believed in, something that he knew could change the world. But after years of hard work, he found himself at a crossroads. His savings were gone, his energy was depleted, and the results were nowhere to be found. He was ready to give up. Every sign pointed to failure. The world told him to walk away. People questioned his decisions, his choices, and his sanity. But in that moment, he chose faith over sight. Instead of giving up, instead of succumbing to the visible reality of failure, he took one more step. He pushed forward, trusting that his vision was bigger than what he could see. And that's when the breakthrough came. Soon after, the project he had worked so tirelessly on caught the attention of someone who saw the potential he saw all those years. It became a global success. And the very thing that had once seemed impossible, the very thing that had nearly broken him, became the foundation of his legacy. If he had given up when things weren't going his way, if he had let sight dictate his actions, he would have missed the opportunity that lay just ahead. His faith, the ability to believe when all signs pointed to failure, is what made the difference. This is the power of faith over sight. Sight is limited. It only shows you what's in front of you. But faith has no limits. It allows you to see beyond the present moment, to imagine a future that's bigger than your current circumstances. Sight can only show you the present. Faith shows you the potential of tomorrow. I think about people who have gone through the toughest of times, the ones who have been knocked down by life, who face tragedy, loss, or hardship. In those moments when everything seems bleak, it's easy to lose sight of hope. It's easy to believe that the darkness will never lift, that there's no way out of the situation. But there's always something powerful about those who choose to keep walking, even when they can't see the path ahead. Those who choose faith over sight are the ones who break through barriers, who rise from the ashes, who rebuild their lives when everything seems lost. Take the example of someone who has been battling a chronic illness for years. Every day is a struggle. Every step is painful, and the doctors are not offering much hope. For years they've fought, and at times it feels like they've exhausted all options. But despite what their eyes see, despite the pain, despite the doctor's reports, they refuse to give up. They hold on to their faith, trusting that their healing is possible, even when the evidence says otherwise. Day by day, they push through, believing in the possibility of a breakthrough. And one day, when they least expect it, their body begins to heal. The treatment they tried finally works, or a new opportunity emerges for them to regain their strength. It wasn't their sight that led them to victory. It was their faith, their unwavering belief in something bigger than what their eyes could see. There's a lesson to be learned here for all of us. Sight is what we see in the moment, but faith is what drives us to continue moving forward, to keep going even when the finish line is not in sight. It's easy to be motivated when things are going well, when everything is falling into place, when the rewards are clear. But it's in the moments when we can't see the rewards, when we don't know where the path leads, that our true faith is tested. That's when we discover how deep our belief really runs. Think about it in the context of a farmer who plants seeds in the ground. He cannot see the crops growing underground, but he knows that with time the harvest will come. He waters the soil, tends to it, and waits. The process is slow, and there is no immediate sign that anything is happening. But he knows that the seeds are doing their work. His faith in the process is what allows him to wait, to keep going even when the results aren't visible. And eventually, When the crops finally begin to grow, he is rewarded for his patience, his trust in what he couldn't see. This is how faith over sight works in our lives. We may not see the immediate results of our efforts, but that doesn't mean they are in vain. Just because you can't see progress today doesn't mean it isn't coming. Just because the dream feels far away doesn't mean it won't happen. It's in those moments when you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel that you have to hold on to your faith the hardest. Trust that something is happening beneath the surface. Trust that progress is being made. Trust that your breakthrough is coming, even if you can't see it yet. Faith is not just about believing when everything is going well. It's about believing in the possibility of change, the possibility of growth, even when the world around you seems to be telling you otherwise. It's about trusting that there's a plan at work, even when you can't see the details. The power of faith lies in its ability to see beyond the moment, to hold on even when sight tells you to let go. That's the kind of faith that moves mountains. That's the kind of faith that creates miracles. Every single person on this planet is here for a reason, a purpose greater than they could ever imagine. And the incredible thing about purpose is that it is often hidden beneath layers of difficulty, struggle, and pain. It's easy to look at life's challenges as setbacks or obstacles. But what if they are actually the very things that shape us for the purpose we're meant to fulfill? What if the very circumstances that feel like a burden are actually guiding us toward our miraculous purpose, even when we don't fully understand it yet? There's a story of a woman named Sarah who was going through the toughest period of her life. She had lost her job, her relationship had ended, and everything around her seemed to be falling apart. In the midst of this, she had no idea what was happening, why everything seemed to be crumbling, and what her future would hold. It felt like a season of loss, like all the doors in her life were closing. But it was in the deepest moments of despair that she discovered something powerful, a seed of purpose that had been planted within her all along, one that could only grow through the challenges she was facing. Sarah's story is not unlike so many others. We all have moments when it feels like we're going through a storm. The pieces of our lives don't seem to fit, and the path ahead is unclear. And in those moments, it's easy to question why things are happening the way they are. Why is life so difficult? Why do we face so many hardships? Why are things not going according to the plan we've set for ourselves? But here's the truth: sometimes life's difficulties are not signs of failure. They are signs of purpose. Think about the way a diamond is formed. The diamond, in its rough form, is just a piece of carbon, nothing special to the naked eye. But through intense pressure, heat, and time, that same piece of carbon transforms into one of the most beautiful, valuable things on earth. The pressure that the diamond goes through doesn't destroy it. It shapes it, it refines it, and it turns it into something beautiful and rare. In much the same way, the struggles we face in life are the pressures that shape us. They refine our character, build our resilience, and prepare us for the purpose we are meant to fulfill. I want you to think for a moment about someone who has been through hardship. Perhaps it's someone close to you. Or maybe it's a story you've heard. Maybe it's a person who lost everything, money, health, family, and found themselves at rock bottom. But in that moment of despair, when they felt they had nothing left, they found a deep strength they never knew they had. They tapped into something greater than themselves, something bigger than their circumstances. They didn't let their situation define them. Instead, they allowed it to refine them. Through their struggle, they discovered a calling, a purpose, a reason to keep going, even when they couldn't see the way forward. It's easy to look at someone who is successful, someone who has achieved great things, and assume that their journey was smooth, that they've always had it easy. But the reality is, those who achieve greatness often do so after facing the greatest challenges. The struggles they faced didn't break them, they made them. They didn't stop at the roadblocks. They didn't turn back when life got hard. They pressed on, and through their perseverance, they discovered their purpose. They realized that every setback, every hardship was just a stepping stone, leading them towards something bigger, something far beyond what they could have imagined. One such example is the story of Oprah Winfrey. She's a woman who has become a global icon, known for her incredible success and positive influence. But what many people don't realize is that Oprah's life was filled with challenges from the very beginning. She faced poverty, abuse, and constant rejection. She could have easily given up at any point along her journey. But instead of letting her circumstances define her, she chose to let them strengthen her. She realized that her pain could be a powerful motivator, that the struggles she faced were preparing her for something greater. Through those experiences, Oprah discovered her purpose. She became the voice for those who had been unheard, the hope for those who felt lost. She didn't allow her past to dictate her future. Instead, she used it to fuel her rise to greatness. This is what happens when we allow ourselves to embrace our struggles, when we understand that they are not here to defeat us, but to teach us, to shape us. Life has a way of taking us through difficult times to reveal the strength we never knew we had. The miracles in our lives don't always come in the form we expect. Sometimes they come wrapped in challenges, in struggles, in moments of pain. But if we can open our eyes to the lessons hidden within those moments, we can begin to see the miracles unfold. Take a moment to reflect on your own life. Think about the times when you faced difficulties. Maybe you've had to deal with loss, rejection, or failure. Perhaps you've been knocked down only to get back up again. But each time you've risen, you've become stronger. Each challenge you've faced has been preparing you for the next step on your journey. And in each of those moments, you've been one step closer to discovering your true purpose. There's a saying that goes, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger." It's not just a catchy phrase, it's a reality. Every trial, every tribulation, every struggle that you face is not meant to break you, but to build you. It's meant to push you closer to your destiny, to align you with the purpose that you were created to fulfill. The miracle of your life is not just in the good times, the easy times, the moments of success. It's in the struggle, in the moments when you feel like giving up, but you keep going anyway. That is where your true strength is revealed. That is where your true purpose is born. If you are facing a challenge today, don't see it as a setback. See it as a sign that you are being refined, that you are being prepared for something greater. The miracle is not always in the answer, the solution, or the immediate relief. It's in the process, the growth, and the discovery of your purpose. Every difficulty you face is an opportunity for you to step closer to the life you were meant to live. Don't run from the struggle. Embrace it. Know that it is shaping you into the person you were meant to become. And remember, the miracle is not just coming. It's already happening. It's happening in you. There are moments in life when everything feels like it's against you. You've worked tirelessly, put in the effort, and still it seems like success is slipping further away. It's in these moments when the world feels heavy and the future uncertain that many people consider giving up. They look at the obstacles, the failures, and the setbacks and think to themselves, maybe it's just not meant to be. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. But here's the truth. Your breakthrough is often just on the other side of giving up. The point at which you feel like you've hit the wall, when everything seems lost. That's the exact moment when you need to dig in deeper and push through. There's an extraordinary power that lies in perseverance. Life doesn't always give you what you want when you want it, and it certainly doesn't always offer you the easy route. But that's the beauty of the journey. It's not about avoiding failure or struggle, it's about rising every time you fall. Look at any great success story and you'll find one common thread: they didn't give up when it got hard. In fact, their greatest achievements came after their most difficult times. Take the example of Thomas Edison, the man who invented the light bulb. Many people know him as the genius who illuminated the world, but few realize the sheer number of failures he encountered. Edison faced thousands of failed experiments. He didn't discover the light bulb after 1 or 2 tries, or even 100. No, he faced countless defeats, each one more discouraging than the last. And yet, instead of seeing failure as the end of the road, Edison saw it as part of the process. He famously said, "I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His determination, his refusal to give up was what led him to one of the greatest inventions of all time. This principle applies to everyone. There's not a person alive who hasn't faced a moment where everything seemed hopeless, where it felt easier to walk away than to keep fighting. But in those moments, if you can find the courage to push forward, you will find something powerful on the other side. The secret is that the road to success is never straight. There will always be twists, turns, and detours. You will face rejection, loss, and failure. But those are not signs that you should quit. They are signs that you are on the right path, that you are moving towards something greater than yourself. Consider the story of J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. She was rejected by over 12 publishers before one finally decided to take a chance on her. Think about that, 12 rejections. How many people would have walked away after the 3rd or 4th rejection? How many would have given up after the 10th? But Rowling didn't. She continued to believe in her story, in her dream, even when others didn't. And that belief, that persistence led to the creation of one of the most successful book series in history. Had she given up, the world would never have known the magic of Harry Potter. Then there's the example of Michael Jordan, who is widely regarded as one of the greatest basketball players of all time. But what many people don't know is that Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. He was rejected, told he wasn't good enough. But instead of letting that rejection define him, he used it as fuel. He spent countless hours on the court, practicing, pushing himself to be better. And eventually he became the icon we know today. Imagine if he had accepted that first failure, if he had given up when he was told he wasn't good enough. His legacy would be nothing but a missed opportunity. In each of these stories, what stands out is the relentless pursuit of their dreams. They didn't stop when the road got tough, when the world told them no, when the failures seemed endless. They kept going. They kept moving forward. And in doing so, they discovered that the true measure of success isn't about avoiding failure. It's about what you do after you fail. It's about your ability to get back up, to keep trying, to keep believing when everything around you is telling you to quit. Think about a time in your own life when you faced adversity. Maybe it was a goal you were working toward, a personal struggle, or a dream that seemed impossible. How did you feel in those moments? Did you feel like giving up? Did you question whether it was even worth it? That's the moment when you have to make a choice. Do you continue even when the path is unclear, or do you walk away? The power to transform your life, to change your circumstances, lies in that decision. Giving up may seem like the easier option, but pushing forward, even when it's hard, is what will lead you to greatness. The road to success is not a straight line. It's filled with bumps, twists, and unexpected challenges. But these are the moments that build character, that teach you resilience, that make success worth having. If everything was easy, if everything came to you on the first try, success wouldn't mean anything. It's the struggle that gives success its value, its depth, and its meaning. So the next time you face a setback, when you feel like you're about to give up, remember that the greatest victories are often born from the toughest struggles. Every time you choose to keep going, you are one step closer to your breakthrough. It doesn't matter how many times you fall. What matters is how many times you get back up. The path may not be easy, but it is worth it. Every great achievement in history was built by someone who refused to give up, who kept pushing through the pain, the rejection, the failure, and the doubts. And you are no different. Your success is waiting on the other side of your persistence. Keep going. Don't stop. Keep pushing. Because your breakthrough is coming. You just have to keep going. As we come to the end of this journey together, I want you to remember one undeniable truth. You are capable of far more than you think. The world has a way of testing us, of throwing challenges in our path to see if we will rise to the occasion. But the greatest thing you can ever do in your life is to rise above the obstacles, rise above the doubts, rise above the negativity that tries to tell you that you can't. Don't let anyone, especially not yourself, convince you that your dreams are too big, your goals too out of reach. The only limitations that exist are the ones you place on yourself. As Nelson Mandela once said, it always seems impossible until it's done. You see, what may seem impossible today is just a challenge waiting to be conquered tomorrow. The future you desire is not some far-off fantasy. It's within your reach, just waiting for you to stretch out and claim it. It's easy to get discouraged when things don't go according to plan. It's easy to look at the people who've already achieved their dreams and think, I could never be like them. But the truth is, those people were once just like you. They had doubts, fears, and setbacks. They faced rejection and failure just like we all do. The difference is they didn't quit. They kept going. They knew that success wasn't a straight line, but a winding road, full of challenges and triumphs alike. And with each challenge they overcame, they grew stronger, more resilient, and closer to their goals. As Winston Churchill said, success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is moving forward despite it. You might be scared, you might feel uncertain, and the road ahead may be unclear. But remember, the greatest victories come from those who keep moving forward when everything else tells them to stop. The only time you truly fail is when you give up. As long as you keep going, as long as you keep pushing, you are one step closer to your breakthrough. There will be times in your life when you feel like you've given everything you've got and still haven't reached your destination. You will question whether it's worth it, whether you should just walk away. But here's the truth. Every step you take, every ounce of energy you put into your dreams is never wasted. The lessons you learn in the struggle are just as important as the victories you celebrate. In fact, they often shape you into the person capable of handling the success you're about to receive. Think about the stories of the greatest achievers. Their stories didn't start with triumph. They started with setbacks. Steve Jobs was fired from the company he founded. Oprah Winfrey was told she wasn't fit for TV. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. But they didn't give up. They chose to believe that there was more to their story than what they could see at that moment. They chose to see failure as the beginning, not the end. And that choice, that refusal to give up, is what set them on the path to greatness. Remember this, the road to your dreams will be full of obstacles, but every obstacle is just another opportunity for you to grow. Every challenge is a test of your character, a test of your willpower, a test of your faith. When the world tells you no, let your spirit say yes. When the road gets tough, let your heart be tougher. When the nights are long and the path is uncertain, remember that dawn is always on the other side of darkness. You have a gift. You have a purpose. Your dreams are not just fantasies. They are your future waiting to be claimed. And the only way you can claim that future is by refusing to quit, by choosing to press on when the world tells you to stop. If you've got a dream, if you've got a vision, don't let anything stop you. Keep moving forward, even when the road is hard, even when the climb is steep, because on the other side of that struggle is the life you've always imagined. As Maya Angelou once said, we may encounter many defeats, but we must not be defeated. In every defeat, there is a lesson. In every setback, there is an opportunity. You are not defined by the hardships you face, but by how you rise above them. So take this with you today. The only thing standing between you and your dreams is your willingness to keep going, to keep pushing forward, to keep believing in yourself, even when the world seems to doubt you. The greatest achievements are born from the greatest challenges, and the most powerful victories come from those who never give up, no matter how hard it gets. Believe in yourself. Trust in the process. And remember, Your breakthrough is on the way. If you don't quit now, if you keep pushing through, your miracle is just around the corner. Keep going. The world is waiting for your greatness.